fact that on its birthday, that asked the question, how were the children? And so being able to have a response to that with showing that the kids are all right, and that we are, the future is taking over. So I am going to pass it over to Charity and Janaya. They're going to join us up here, at the couch, and they are going to take it over as we transition into Black joy. And so, what we know, what we talked about in our planning sessions is that a lot of times, Black people, people of color, specifically Black youth, don't take time to experience joy. And so, how else to open this session but to open it with some happiness? And so, they have some really cool activities that they've planned. Come on up. We're keeping it light and easy, right? And so it's like hip hop, right? And imagine your favorite house party that you ever been to. And so it was some people in the room, it was some people in the living room, in the kitchen, in the basement, right? Having a great time. And so that's what we're doing today. So I'm going to pass it to you two. And then Andrea and I are going to move out of your way. Y'all ready? Give it up for Charity and Janaya.
Thank you. Thank you. Hey, y'all. Okay, so I'm Charity. I'm a sophomore social work scholar, creative writing minor from Clark Atlanta University, going to Clark Atlanta University. I'm not from Clark Atlanta University, but I'm just excited to be here.
Hi. Is it on? Yeah. Hey y'all. I'm Janaya. I'm a psychology major with a African American study minor at McDaniel College. Little bit about me. I'm really passionate about mental health and suicide awareness. In my free time, I'm a mentor and also do research on Black men dying by suicide. So I'm happy to be here again and talk about Black joy.
So we're actually gonna invite two more people. We have Yolanda and we have Raquel. So we're gonna invite them up, and as they're coming up, just give them a round of applause. And so we're gonna allow them to introduce themselves, and then we're gonna get right into everything.
Want me to go first? Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Yolanda. I go to Baltimore City Community College, majoring in information technology, and I'm also a Harpy as well.
Hey everyone, my name is Rock. I'm in the 12th grade at Kenwood High School and Solars Point High School for cosmetology. I'm a heartbeat as well, and I'm really happy to be here.
So for our opening prompts, Black joy is ...
I just see it as Black happiness, togetherness, despite being divided by the system and even by each other through like systemic racism and colorism, just deciding to thrive and celebrate each other in our culture.
For me, I would say it's just being able to be yourself without being judged. Going into a room and just being able to be you authentically. I feel like that's the most important thing.
We did want to open up the audience if anybody wanted to kind of give their personal definition of Black joy and finish the statement. Black joy is.
Yep.
Learning about our community and our history, celebrating that community and our history with the things that are relevant to our culture. So like I said, probably a big thing for me is probably dance and art. I think that is like a lot of ways. And I think Black people like this, like same Black people together and how this thing.
Black joy is hip hop, egg custard snowballs with the marshmallow.
For sure.
And yeah, hot balloons too.
I agree. Heavy on the marshmallow and the egg custard. For me, I feel like Black joy, I wouldn't say it's the absence of sadness. I feel like our Black joy is our ability to respond in love and happiness despite whatever it is we're going through, because that's what makes it joy. We're moving past whatever that feeling is that we're feeling in that moment. So that's what I would have to say Black joy is.
Um, I would say Black joy is liberation. I feel like Black emotions, just like Black people, are so policed. We're heavily policed, and we're not really able to be ourselves authentically in a lot of spaces. So to achieve real liberation and being yourself freely and authentically, I feel like that is Black joy. Yeah. Mm, okay. Um. Do you want to? Okay. What joyful things did you do as a child that you still do now?
I definitely still express myself creatively, not as much as I would like to, because there's a lot of limitations with school and work and obligations, but I definitely still try to draw. And I've gone into crocheting more now, but I love drawing on paper too. Like, that's one of my favorite things.
For me is I love music, so singing has always been just a thing that I did for myself personally. So just being able to sing all the time and just record that is what like keeps me sane a lot.
Anybody from the audience want to respond to that? What's something that brings you joy that you did as a child that you still do now? Mhm.
So we're actually going to get into the activity for Memory Lane Joy, which is what this segment is called. And so we want you to find a partner if you're comfortable and play a childhood hand game for 30 to 60 seconds. So if it's Slide Baby, if it's, I don't even remember all of them, like the names of them, Miss Mary Mac. So just find a partner if you're comfortable, and for 30 to 60 seconds, play one of your favorite childhood hand games. And after you play the hand game, try to use one word to describe how it felt to do that activity.
Remember lemonade? Remember lemonade? Lemonade. Crunchy ice. Good as ice. All right. Wasn't it like? I don't remember. I don't remember. Wait, how's it go? Oh my God, that really brings back memory. Okay. Yes. It was. And then what? I don't. You don't remember that? It was like lemonade, crunchy ice, cinnamon spice. Oh, that's not how I used to play it. Uh,
Okay. I don't know about y'all, but that felt good. It felt liberating. I haven't done that hand game since 8th grade. I'm about to be 20. I don't even know how many years ago that was, but that was a while ago. And I would say my one word, liberating. It felt really liberating to just be kid like, childlike. So yeah. How about you?
Yeah, I feel like my word is smiling. Like you can't help but to smile and laugh because it's so silly, but like sometimes you just need a silly moment. Like everything is so serious all the time. Like sometimes you just gotta like laugh or like do silly things.
Um, Honestly, I didn't even remember how to do it, but it definitely took me back to when I was in summer camp when I was like 8 and 9, and it did make me smiley too, like just taking all the memories back.
For sure.
I think it was right on topic. It definitely was joyful, and I definitely echo what Rock said about like I had to think back, like when I was playing this in the cafeteria in middle school with all my friends. But definitely joyful, and just like reminding me of the times we have like our mini hand game competitions, see who could be the fastest, see who could know the most games and all that. So it definitely reminded me of like the good times of my childhood.
It was very nostalgic. Like Gemma said, she was going super fast, so I was trying to keep up with her, but it was super fun.
Yeah, I had fun. I only need one game. That and then I just got to a point. I just started playing peekaboo because I'm just like, why not? That's another hand game. But I had fun. Anybody else want shit?
It was very reflective for me. Very reflective. It took me back to my childhood days, and youthful. It makes you remember the good times as a kid. As a young adult, growing up, those were the things that kept us going. Nowadays, things are so different, and children don't sit around and play hand games or board games or any type of games like that. So it was very reflective for me and brought me back to my younger days. So I appreciate it.
Um, it was fun. It was nice seeing others smile and laugh. Um, I remember playing it as a kid, like in elementary school and middle school with my friends. So it was very fun.
Um, it was just bringing back a lot of memories. It reminded me of when my older sisters were trying to teach me how to play it, and I was like 5, and I was like, "Wait, hold on, stop! I don't know what's going on." Even though I didn't know it, it just brought back the joy and happiness that I felt from when I was a kid, and it made me feel good inside.
Okay. Yeah. So, um, this next part is going to talk about like present joy, and um, it's called living in the moment. And I think this is very fitting because I think a lot of times we are worried about what's going to come or what's going to bring us happiness, and we lose sight of what's right in front of our faces and like what can bring us joy in the now. And I think it's important to reflect on that. So, first question is, what's 5 things that can bring you joy in the short term?
For me, is I love going to my little water spot and I love watching the sunset. So that gives me a lot of joy. And reading there, doing my little karaoke, and just being able to draw whenever I can. Like after math class, I could do a little doodle. Like especially because finals coming up, like a lot of those stuff give me joy. Being able to see my best friend and be with family is what keeps me happy.
Definitely being around my best friend too. Um, Being social brings me joy. It can either drain me or make me really, really uplifted. And definitely with my best friend, I'm always uplifted. Um, like I said, being creative, taking time for my hobbies, even when, like me being a senior, I think I'm kind of out of touch with the present. So I like that you brought that up because I'm kind of thinking about how this chapter is ending and I'm thinking about what's next instead of like embracing that this is my last year in high school before I become an adult. Um, so being present, being creative, and music. I love karaoke too. Just being myself, and yeah.
I would have to agree. Music, like discovering new artists, especially when they're local. I discovered one today, child. So good. I would also say a good chicken box, salt, pepper, ketchup. Is one word. I love chicken boxes. I would also have to say being around good people. It fills you up. When you're around people who drain you, how can you feel joy? So when you're around the right people for you and they're just pouring into you or just making you laugh, you could be going through something and that person just all they have to do is give you that. Like Alexis is really that for me. Like when she makes some silly faces out of nowhere, when she's just being herself. See? She just does that for people, and I feel like it's the Alexises of the world, the Janiyas, the Gemmas, the Elders, the Rock, the Yo-Yos of the world who help people feel joy. And that one short term, don't cry, girl, because I will cry and I have on makeup. But yeah, I would have to say, yeah, good people, especially like that's the best short term remedy for joy.
Um, I would say for me, if that, and so like learning is something that I enjoy. Good conversation will do it for me as well. Like if I have the opportunity to talk about something that I like, or if you disagree with me, I love disagreeing because I just love to like talk and have good conversation. I would also say being creative. Like I agree with that. I like painting and music and stuff, and it's like it could really take you to another place. Have you on a chicken box too, but those are my big ones. That
All right, so we're getting into our last section, which is called Future Joy. So the first question is, what do you? Oh, this one is. Oh yes, actually, we do have an activity for living in the moment, Joy, with Gemma. So I would love to invite Gemma up real quick because I don't know if y'all can get into the coloring books. We're gonna be doing an activity real quick with the coloring books. So we're gonna let Gemma introduce herself just really quick, and then we'll explain the activity.
Okay. Hey, everybody. I'm Gemma. I'm an artist, mentor, youth advocate, Heart Smiles, Heartbeat, amongst a plethora of other things, a sister, a daughter, all those good things. But mainly as an artist, not last year, this year, I released my first coloring book of a series called Be More Hustlers. I'll be releasing my next one in 2024 in the summer at my next art show. But for these past 2 years, I've been doing solo exhibitions. And as a youth artist, I'm only 19 and I've been doing this since I was about 15. Just putting Black people at the forefront of my art and its purpose is a really big thing for me. So doing my portrait art, highlight youth entrepreneurs, music artists, people from Baltimore. That's the thing that I hold dearly to my heart as an artist. So that's what I want my art to focus on. But this coloring book specifically focuses on youth entrepreneurship here in Baltimore. It has some activities in there about like just like your success. Of course, like the Baltimore City skyline. Elder is in the coloring book. Charity is in this coloring book. So yeah, it's just filled with youth entrepreneurship, success, Black joy, Black success, all those things, breaking generational curses. And my next one will highlight nonprofits, Baltimore chefs, rappers, legends, and more. So the next one is definitely going to be a big one. But I think this one is just like my absolute favorite because as a youth entrepreneur, I love other youth entrepreneurs, and I think shining the light on us and all the work that we do as young people and running a business and trying to build up those things that a business has at a young age is really great. So.
Thank you for that, Gemma. So our question, yes, round of applause, please.
Yes.
So the question for you, Gemma, what role do you hope for joy to play when people are using your coloring books?
So actually, when I got the coloring books delivered, I was like all flustered. I had only ordered 50, and it came in like this small box. And my niece came out, and my sister was like, "Oh, I'm gonna buy your first one. I'm gonna buy your first one." And my niece, she immediately started coloring in it. And now that I think about it, I don't really think I've ever seen my niece color in a coloring book. Like I seen her color for her homework and all that. And my niece is 6, but seeing her ask me like, oh, like who are these people? Like what does she do? And her asking about like the symbols around the people and like, oh, does he do photography because it's a camera? And her asking like, oh, is he dark skinned or is he more like milk chocolate? She's asking like, what crayon should I use? She's like, can you show me a picture of what he looks like so I can get his skin color right? So seeing that like Black Joy from the coloring book, like knowing growing up that not all coloring books depicted Black people in a manner that my coloring book does. So seeing my niece like being engrossed in that and like actively want to continue to color in a coloring book. I think she almost finished it. But she actually uses it a lot. So I think seeing that like first representation of like somebody so dear to me be so excited about it and then to see other people excited about it as well. It brought a lot of joy to me. So I wanted to play a role as in like to inspire other young kids like, oh, like we can be in coloring books. These are things that I can do, like seeing themselves be represented. So knowing that kids can see anything in this coloring book, yeah, I want to do that. Like I seen this in that book, I want to be that. So yeah, that's how I wanted to play a role.
Thank you, Gemma. So for the activity, we're actually going to be using the coloring book. So there should be one copy on one of the tables. We're going to pass it around. Find a page you like, find a partner you like, share one of the pages so you can take it out. And for 5 minutes, we'll do a coloring activity. See how far you can get with 5 minutes. It's okay if you don't finish. Or find your favorite activity you like. But take 5 minutes to do that. And please do pass it around so you can find the one that you like the most. No, you can go. I'm gonna see if they can pass it around. How did y'all feel? How did it make y'all feel? Yeah, y'all can use one word. Just shout it out at me. What's one word to make it describe how you felt coloring? Relax. Okay. Okay. I see y'all still relaxed, still locked in. I ain't mad. I'm not mad at all. But we're gonna bring it back so we can get into this next activity. And I'm really excited for this one because it's about future joy. So I'm gonna pass it to Janaya.
Yes. So our next and last segment is going to be called a letter to my future self. And this is just to, kind of monitor your growth and to, see where you want to be and, kind of set some goals for yourself and where you want your joy to be in the future. Um so one question that we have is, what do you have to let go of to cultivate more joy in your life? It's a heavy one. Just to repeat the question, what do you have to let go of to cultivate more joy in your life?
For me, is being patient. Like I feel like I'm very hard on myself, and that leaves me with stress because I always feel like I'm worrying about what I'm doing next when I'm already good at where I'm at. Even though I can do more, I'm always doing a lot. So I always feel like I have to do more in every aspect. If it's academic, work, like that makes me stressed and it leaves me with no joy. So learning to have less of that is really important with me. But also being in therapy has helped that a lot because it helps me balance a lot of stuff so I'm not overworking myself.
I want to say I need to let go of my judgment towards myself and let myself have grace because I'm really doing fine, but I always feel like there's something I have to nitpick at. And I don't know where that originated, but I need to definitely let that go so that I can really celebrate myself because clearly, like, if I don't celebrate myself, I'm not going to be fulfilled. So,
That was a word. That was very good. If anybody in the audience wanted to share what they need to let go of in order to feel joy or achieve joy, now we're gonna open up the floor.
I say one thing for me, and I hope this don't sound weird, but one thing for me I got let go of is like my actual expectations, if that makes sense. Because it's like you set yourself up or you put yourself into a predicament to be like, all right, I expect myself to have this goal, but in actuality, as you get older, life start life, and then you have to put yourself into a predicament to learn how to manage and learn how to be, fluid. So that's one of the biggest things I'm really still learning how to adjust to.
I had to let go of disappointment, like trying to avoid it, trying to mitigate my circumstances so that I don't encounter it when it's a building. It builds character to be disappointed and to evolve from changing expectations.
For me, I say people pleasing, just because a lot of times I try to make sure everybody is happy, and you can't serve everybody at the same time. So just trying to focus on like prioritizing what I gotta do and focusing on what makes me happy while also making other people happy at the same time.
For me, I would say comparison because I feel like I often look at like what other people are doing, and I'm like, oh, I could be doing more, I should be doing more, but it's like I'm in my own lane, I'm doing my own thing. So yeah, I feel like comparison is definitely like the thief of joy. So
For me, it's letting think the things that aren't growing anymore, things that have ceased to continue and grow with me, because I don't want to keep giving to things that aren't giving back to me.
One thing I need to let go of is not believing in myself. A lot of times when things get too hard, or I feel as though because I failed it once, I shouldn't try again, or I shouldn't try to move on and try to, you know, get better at it. I just give up and just stop because I feel as though I'm not going to do it. I couldn't do it the first time, so why try again?
Um, One thing I say is letting go of like overthinking. Like I feel like overthinking could like probably like block your blessing in a sense. Like you overthinking is clouding your memory. So that's one thing I say.
Even as an adult, I feel I need to let go of resentment. Harboring being unfairly treated or the way people done you can definitely affect your mental and how you move throughout the day. So I feel I need to let go of resentment.
I have one too. Ooh, shoot. I think something that I have learned to let go of, even in my young adult time, is let go of the fact that I think people will be like me. So what do you mean by that, Alexis? Well, I mean, certain things. There are certain things that I wouldn't do to other people, but I have to realize that people don't think like me. People aren't going to think the same way, and even though I may give someone that same courteous or that same courtesy, excuse me, even though I might give that same courtesy, it doesn't have to be reciprocated because they're not me. So I have to be okay with me being me and not everybody else being who I am or thinking the same way. And I have to understand that we all are different and not to be upset in our differences, but just to accept it and move forward.
Okay. Bringing it back to us and kind of answering this question. Um, I think for me, in order for me to culminate more joy in my life, I need to let go of toxic forms of motivation. And like what I mean by that is like motivating myself with spite. Like, oh, they made me feel bad, so now I'm gonna do really, really good to prove to them that I'm worth more than what they thought I was or whatever. But that doesn't help anybody because at the end of the day, people are going to feel how they feel. And you being amazing doesn't mean anything if you're basing your amazingness off of how other people feel about you. Um, yeah. So letting go of that. I should be doing it for me and I should, be trying to culminate joy in my life because I deserve it, not because I'm trying to prove to somebody that I do.
For me, to cultivate more joy in my life, I need to let go of being transparent, my attachment to the destination. I feel like I'm somebody who works super hard and I do a lot of things. And I always tell myself, okay, if I do this next thing, then I did it. But then I do another thing to say that I did it and another thing to prove to people that I'm here and that I'm doing it. But the fact that I'm doing it is enough fortitude in itself. So I'm trying to let go of my attachment to the destination because I'll forever be evolving. I feel like that every day I'm getting closer to the me that I want to be, but who God is calling me to be. And that just requires me to be patient, which is not something that I'm good at. I like things to get done because I feel like I deserve that. I deserve the good things, but they don't feel as good when they come so fast and they just come on a whim. It feels good when you labored, when you worked for it. Sometimes you just do deserve it, but it's more fruitful when it's something that you harvested, something that you watered, something that you gave sun to, something that you gave time to. There, every day I'm closer to the destination. So yeah. Thank you.
Add to that.
Yes, please.
I love your response, and it also some of the responses in the audience also opened my mind to what I need to let go of, and I think really my answer is I need to let go of control because I need control. I need control so that I can like be okay and just know that everything is in order it's not always going to be in order. I really have to realize that, and being okay with being fluid. Things can change. You might have to like reroute and maneuver and change and change. And it's just not always going to be like I said, this is going to be this way and it ends up that way. I really need to work on that too.
Just to add to that, I had someone once tell me that sometimes you have to like grieve what you thought was for you to make room for what is actually for you. And like that can be really hard because like to the control piece, like sometimes we map out our whole lives and like we have these ideas and it seems perfect for us, not just because we want it, but like based off of who we think we are. And like it's appropriate to grieve that that may not have been the best path for you, or like the path God had for you, even though you thought that you knew yourself enough to map it out. So just taking the time to grieve that so that you can actually make room, proper room for the joy that comes with what's for you now. So
thank you.
So getting into this, that's a hi Bree. That's my friend Bree. I just want to get into this last activity, which is really reflective for you all. So for this part, you're gonna write a letter to your future self, who not even to your future self, to you now with the future you in mind. Things that you want her to remember about where you are in this timestamp, because this time next year we're going to mail these letters back out to you all so that you can hear from your own self what you told yourself today. So write whatever you need to get off your chest about where you are now. Give yourself some gems, give yourself some seeds so that they can be watered, and watch how this time next year you'll be that much closer than you thought you were, or you were already there when you didn't think you were. So take this time. You should have a notebook or a piece of paper, and I'm going to give us 5 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna give it 7 minutes because 7 is the number of completion and wholeness. So 7 minutes to do this activity, and then we're gonna go to the next emotion.
guys, just to let you know, in your bags you do have a journal, so you can write it in that. And at the top of your page, put your email address. So if we don't physically mail these, we can scan them and email them to you or text them to you, whatever is better for you.
Everybody good? Okay, good, good. someone at BMHA. I can't remember their name, but they got back to me and they said, "Yeah, we'll share it on our page," and they did. And so many young people came out because of that. And in December of 2022, that same year, I was asked to be a part of the summit and as a youth leader. Just so seeing that full circle moment, I just looked at my email like last week and realized that connection, how divine God works, because I never imagined I would be here. And I said this last year. I didn't imagine I would be there last year. And last year I was like, I can't believe I could even be here this year. And I'm here this year. So I'm saying that to say I don't really know where my life is headed. And as I said, I'm about to be 20. And I'm really realizing after the activities and after everything, I need to prioritize time to be still, to be present in every moment because life is so fleeting. Watching my nephews on the cusp of being 10 and it's like I can't imagine their teens because mine was crazy. So just life is moving fast, time is moving fast, and I just implore within you all to just be still, to use this journal to write your dreams. There's nothing like having a journal and looking at it and you see all your dreams coming to fruition, even though in the moment it's like it's not going to happen, but it did. So just keep writing, keep reflecting, go to therapy. God created you and God made your mind, but sometimes you just need your therapist. You can't pray certain things away. You just need to talk through it. Some things you have to do the work. God doesn't need you to always lean on him. He needs you to lean on the people he made to be there for you. And it's hard, but finding a therapist is fruitful. It's a process, but when you get that one, it's like, girl, we locked in, man, we locked in. So just keep prioritizing time to be reflective and still. This life is fleeting. People are coming and going every day. So just be still and have something to believe in because that's how you keep going.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback on that and writing in my journal as well. One specific line that I said is stop waiting for people to support you and embrace the people that already want to see you win. And I think that's very important. I think that Miss Andrea, Miss Nia, Alexis, Charity, like are definitely people that want to see me win, and they bring me joy. Our meetings that we have to discuss doing these things for the youth bring me joy, and it's something I want to continue to do. Um, and yeah, when you find those people, you hold on to them because today is really a camaraderie. Like it's very hard to find people that want to see you succeed, but the people that do, they're gonna ride for you. So keep them around, keep bringing them joy. It's a mutual exchange, and yeah, really though, like if someone is bringing you joy, let them know that. Thank them, show them gratitude, and you give that joy back. So thank you guys for being on here with us and talking with us. And thank everybody in the audience for listening and engaging and being here and being joyful with us today. So, thanks. Of course.
Okay, so we're still live. If y'all want to continue coloring for this little, break, please do so. Color, finish your letter, do whatever you need to do for you. Period.
Welcome to the fifth annual, I still find it hard to believe, the fifth annual Black Mental Health Alliance Youth Summit. Yes, fifth. You remember the first one. Of course you do.
I do.
So listen, and today, should I start over or not?
It's fine.
Okay, you gonna be able to clean that up or start over? Okay.
House party. Let's roll.
Welcome. Oh my gosh. Welcome to the fifth annual Black Mental Health Alliance Youth Summit. It is hard to believe it has been 5 years and we have not missed a beat. And today is no different. And so you don't want to miss this. We're excited that you are here. And today's theme is a Black moment. Ode to emotion. And so you're like, ode to emotion, a Black moment. And so we really are taking that right from the script of hip hop. You know, it's their 50th anniversary. And so today we're going to be doing lots of mediums and all of that kind of stuff. And so we have music, we have poetry, you name it, we have it. And so what I realized I did not do is I got so excited, I forgot to tell you who I was. I am Andrea Brown. I'm the executive director of the Black Mental Health Alliance. And what makes this particular summit so unique and so exciting, not only is it youth led, it's youth planned, and it's all them. They have center stage today. It is their moment. They get to laugh, they get to cry, and then they get to hit repeat. And so it is their moment. They understand the importance of mental health and mental and healing. And so today we get to see them on display. Black excellence, as you often say. And so thank you for joining us. Thank you for coming today. I know that Nia will share today why today is extra special, but I'm going to let her do that. But please join me in welcoming a fierce leader for the youth and young adult division that we have stolen sort of over and over and over again. She keeps trying to leave, and we're like over and over and over again. But please help me welcome Nia Jones.
Thank you so much. And I have one cheering section. So super excited to be back for the fifth annual Youth Summit, as Andre has stated. And we 1 year and 1 day ago, we were here for the fourth annual Youth Summit, which was right on the heels of COVID. We were still trying to social distance a little bit, and so much has changed in a year. And then today is also BMHA's official 40th birthday. And so, what a milestone that a grassroots nonprofit here in Baltimore, founded by the first Black health commissioner, Dr. Maxie T. Collier, who essentially saw that Black mental health wasn't being talked about, it wasn't being addressed. And when it was being addressed, it was being done inappropriately. And so he said, not on my watch. And so, in addition to providing education and consultation in the community, there was a signature event called How Are the Children? And so 5 years ago, when the then executive director, Miss Jan, asked me to come on the team, she said, I want to make a response to that. I want to have an annual youth summit that answers that question. And so to Miss Jan, to Andrea, the kids are all right. The kids are doing very well, but all the children are not well, which is actually the answer to that question. And so we continue to do this youth summit so that we can answer that very same question. And so since I think May, Alexis and Charity and Janaya and I have been sitting together to plan the summit. This is the first one that I didn't do from start to finish. The young people completely planned it in terms of the titles of the sessions. So we've completed our Black Joy session, which is all about the color yellow. We're going to go into a Black Rage session, which is all about the color red and looking at anger and that particular emotion. We're going to talk about anxiety. It's called My Last Black Nerve. And that color is actually orange. And then we have a Zen space that the young people are able to kind of filter in and out of going on in another room. And so that color is blue, and it's about Black burnout. And so we know that oftentimes we are so busy chasing the money and participating and fighting for the struggle and all those things as Black people that sometimes we just don't get to rest. And so we have an amazing restful lounge for our participants. And so I am just overjoyed to just be in the background today. I am going to teach a really small lesson about anger in a little bit, but just happy to see the young people taking charge, and they all right.
It's exciting. This really is their moment. It's their space. It's their voice. You know, we often talk about young people being our future. That's not true. They're our right now. And the sooner we understand that and let them lead, the better we are. So exciting.
So we're going to get out of your way. The image is going to be on the screen for a little bit, simply because we don't own the rights to any of the amazing music that our wonderful DJ is playing for us, and so you won't hear anything for a little bit. So take this time to grab yourself some lunch, grab something to drink, and we'll be right back.
Thank you.
All right, we are back. Hopefully, you can hear me. I'm just excited that people are using the Zen room. So I'm going to talk to the folks that are here and then to the folks that are online. So we are talking about Black rage during this session. And so you should have, ooh, look at the lights just turned red. So you all should have a notebook that's inside of your bag. Take out your notebook. So I'm going to talk for just a few seconds, but then we're going to do an interactive kind of poetry exercise. And so I always joke about how I am the child of some Black preachers. And so if you ever been to church, the preacher is always like, when I was asked to speak, I looked up the definition of the word, right? And so I didn't exactly do that, but I did type into Google Black rage. And the first things that came up, and really the only things that came up when we talked about just anger as it related to Black people and people of color, was really about protesting. And so the rage around police brutality, rage around how our neighborhoods look, rage around all the different adverse childhood experiences that happen to young people. Um, but then when I just looked up anger in general, and so of course that talked more about the majority in this country, it was really more detailed around, you know, choices that have been made, or experiences that happened that weren't necessarily systemic or historical, but things that occurred in their lives that made them upset. And so both things can certainly be true. I just thought that it was really interesting to note that our rage oftentimes stems from those things that we have no control over, right? And so feeling that emotion often comes out of lack of feelings of control. And so today we're going to kind of explore that a little bit more. But when we think about anger, and so whenever I teach like an anger management course, or we're talking about anger with young people, we always talk about the example of an iceberg, right? And so anger is just the tip of the iceberg. And so when I'm in schools or I am in the community, oftentimes anger in our families is the only emotion that gets attention, right? So if you're crying, it's because you are upset, right? If you are yelling, it's because you were upset. If you are silent, it's because you were upset for a variety of reasons. But anger is the only one that will get a response out of somebody, right? The tears will show up and people are like, I don't know what you're crying for, right? Stop all of that crying. But if you're angry, somebody else can then show some anger back towards you. And because you get that response, that's the only one that will consistently come up, right? And so anger is loaded with lots of information and energy, but it's often just like an iceberg below the surface. So what is some and I'm gonna ask somebody to come get the microphone so we can pass it around. But what are some emotions that we think might be below the line in that iceberg of anger? So at the very top is just I'm mad, I'm pissed, I'm upset. But what might be happening, just like when you think about an iceberg, it's the tip, and then it's the water, and it's everything that's underneath it. What might be under there?
I say one aspect of it could be like confusion, because a lot of people act out on anger when they don't know how to process something, or they don't know how to react to something, or they just don't know how to feel overall. So yeah, that's one.
Confusion. Good answer. Thank you.
I think another one is grief. A lot of times with loss, especially losses that you can't control immediately, there's like, why would this happen? And anger behind that.
I would also say just wanting to feel seen. A lot of times when you're feeling a lot of things, you just want somebody to understand you and you want to feel like somebody sees you because it's quick to become invisible when a lot is going on.
I would probably say fear. I definitely feel like for a lot of my family members and me personally, like I don't know, I think fear was definitely one of the big ones of why anger was being shown up so much.
I feel like lack of is a big thing. Like if you don't have the things that you need in order to like survive and thrive, then that can cause a lot of built up anger. Um, some things that I think, might be confused as anger is like sadness and grief. Because a lot of times children are grieving with some things that are outside of the home, or like something that they seen that they ain't tell their parents. And it's when they get home and their parents just putting stuff on them, it turns into anger because your parents don't know what you're going through, but at the same time, you feel like they should know what you're going through, and you don't want to tell them. You just want them to know, so they don't put all this stuff on you and stuff.
Thank you. Good stuff. Very good answer. So, all of that is absolutely true. The things that are beneath the surface. So, sadness, disappointment, loneliness. Did anybody else want to share? We're good. All right. Feeling overwhelmed or embarrassed, grief. Someone mentioned that. What about when you're hungry? Right, you're not yourself when you need a good meal. And even I tell people this all the time, that we have organizations come into our communities and talk about, well, the children aren't eating. Children are eating, right, but it may not be what's considered a balanced meal. And so sometimes I'll feel a particular emotion because I haven't had, right, like appropriate nutrients. And so sometimes feeling hungry can make you feel angry, jealousy, shame, anxiety, right? So I'm really scared on the inside, but above the surface, it shows up as anger. Okay. So, a couple of points to note: that in some families, anger is seen more acceptable than other emotions, as I mentioned earlier. And so, a person might express anger in order to mask hurt, shame, or feelings of being overwhelmed, right? So, we talked about those adverse childhood experiences when we see children being parentified and having to take care of their siblings. That's overwhelming to have to care for somebody and you're still trying to figure out yourself. Anger triggers are people, places, situations, and things. So when we talk about things that make us angry, it can fit in one of those four categories, right? So remember, people, places, situations, and things. And those triggers provide clues about the emotions behind your anger. So let's talk that through a little bit. So if your anger trigger is a person, sometimes it's not that person. Sometimes it is the representation of something that you've experienced. So, for example, if I have somebody that's consistently making me feel angry or upset, and that person is just being, as Alexis mentioned earlier, themselves, right? They're not really doing anything malicious to me, but like deep down inside, I'm like, I just don't like you. It's like, why don't you like the person? And oftentimes when we're sitting in clinical spaces, it's because that person may remind you of an aunt that treated you wrong, or a friend that was inappropriate to you, or a stranger that did something that made you feel some kind of way. And so that trigger is the person, right? But not necessarily them, right? It's the person beneath the surface. Does that make sense? Places. So sometimes when and this happens a lot for people when they leave their home that they grew up in. When you go back home and you might go back into your room, different memories come up, right? So memories can be captured in places, it can be captured in different scents, it can be captured in different smells and tastes, right? And so you go back into your childhood home, you go back into your room where you lived for a certain amount of years, you might start to feel some feelings of anger, right? Why? Because again, those same memories come up for you. It's not the room itself, it's the memories that happen in that place that then trigger the anger response. Okay. It can also be fueled by different emotions at different times, right? So we're in the holiday season, and even if you don't celebrate, right, it's America, it's capitalistic. Christmas is capitalistic for a lot of people, right? And so the thought around not having enough comes up for people, or I want to buy more or do more for my family and I might not be able to do that. And so that particular event can bring up certain feelings of disappointment and grief, and we losing family members right around this time can cause you to then feel those emotions, which show up as anger. Okay, does that make sense? Am I making sense? All right. So, question: how has anger activated your own self determination, survival, and healing? And so I'm going to kick that over to you all in a second. But remember, the anger is loaded with information. So it's good for us to have that emotion. We are all hardwired with certain emotions: anger, joy, fear, disgust. If you've seen the movie Inside Out, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so in that movie, anger would have to be at the control room to make sure that Riley, I think her name was able to go about her day. And so anger had a job, right? And so if we are experiencing our emotions as they show up beneath the surface, it can also help us to push forward. Okay? So how has anger activated your own self-determination, survival, and even healing? We can pass it around, see what you think. Go first.
I would say for me, it kind of piggybacking off of what I was saying earlier, it makes me realize that everyone is not the same. And I think that is my constant issue. That what makes it it boils my blood when people, I don't want to say don't think the same way I do, but don't have an understanding the same way I do. And I'm not saying that it has to be like we have to think the same or anything, but it's just certain things, certain ways I was raised into have that. It makes me mad that people aren't like that. So when I am angry and when it does, when my blood is at the super peak of boilage, I have to take a step back and learn or take it as a learning experience of acceptance. I use my anger to accept what is and what is not, what can and cannot be. It's a hard journey, but anger, it definitely leads me to understand that everybody is different. It just goes back to everybody's different, and I can only control what I can control. And amidst me controlling what I can control, I'm going to control what I can control. That's all I can really do. So that's me.
I think Charity mentioned earlier, like sitting still, because anger is not like the only emotion that's actually coming up. It gives me the chance to like sit still and like actually process what emotions I'm feeling during that time. So yeah, it could be anger at the tip of the iceberg, but like you said, like if you're hungry, if you're tired, if you're overwhelmed, if you have a million and one things on your plate, it's not just anger. It's a whole bunch of different emotions that just come up as anger. So yeah.
We're not forcing you. You don't
Oh
have
no!
to.
Oh no! Oh no! Can you repeat the question again? I'm sorry.
Yep. So, how has anger activated your own self determination, survival, and healing?
Um, I would say when I tend to get angry, it's like I sort of black out. Like I don't have a clear understanding of what I'm doing, because like a situation that had occurred, say a couple weeks ago, and I just lost it, and I was just like, and then I reflected. I was just like, what was I doing? Was it that serious? And then I realized like that was out of my control, and I was kind of being misunderstood as well. So like when you're misunderstood, sometimes that can lead to like, I feel like I'm giving you me. So what, like, am I not enough? But then I am enough. I know I'm enough. Yeah. So
Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. A lot of times people talk about their anger as blacking out, right? And so that's really the result of I'm a Gemini. I don't know why I've been sharing that lately. People be like, introduce yourself. And I'm like, I'm a Gemini. But people think that Geminis have like these dual personalities. And whether we choose to believe it or not, sometimes it's true. And so people will say, like, she just blacked out. She just lost it, right? But typically it's, I took a whole lot in the beginning from you and them and that person too, right? And then I lost it. I exploded. I was not able to control my emotions, right? But again, blacking out is the end result, right? And so I always talk to people about like what got you there. What other emotions did you feel before you got to blacking out? And it is, you hit the nail on the head with, I felt wronged, I felt misunderstood, and then I lost it. So good stuff. Back to you.
I would say my anger has allowed me to heal in the sense that I had to be angry to know what I didn't want to feel anymore. Like you have to experience things to know, okay, this is for me and this is not for me. Being angry for so many years as a young person and coming into adulthood, it's like you have to let things go because you'll be those bitter old people you see just mean to everybody's children, mean towards themselves. And I just had to know, okay, I've been angry all this time. I want to feel the exact opposite of this, which is joy. So we were talking about earlier. So I needed to feel my anger to heal myself so that I could understand I want to heal. Like I don't want my anger to be my final resting place. Like I want to get past this so that I can see what life has to offer, because if you're angry, your life will be a reflection of that. But if you have a positive mindset or a positive attitude, things will begin to shift. Maybe not immediately, but eventually.
For me, I think a lot of my anger was displaced, and I put it on a lot of other people because I wasn't able to be angry at my parents, who the people that I were really angry at, because I couldn't show that emotion in the household. So I think because of that, I showed a lot of my anger at school, in different places in the workplaces, and I think I've definitely grown, and it's helped in my healing process. Like Charity said, like I don't want to be angry at other people who haven't done anything to me or to displace that anger anymore. But I think I'm still in the process of trying to figure out how I can express my anger and all those feelings that I did have in my childhood to the people who did do me wrong and who I felt like were the cause of that or played a part in some of that. So I think that's the part of the point of where I'm at. But I definitely have better gain control over like how I'm portraying my anger to other people and to myself a lot differently.
I feel like my anger, it sometimes fuels my passion. Like if I see something I don't like, or like we was just talking about, like at lunchtime, talking about like the kids who get arrested for petty crimes and stuff like that, and all of the different things that they go through. Like it makes us angry, and it makes me feel like I hate that that happens. So it kind of drives me to do more and be present and show up in ways that I can be a solution to the problem.
I say that oh, I say that a lot of my anger and stuff kind of stems from like the lack of, or just the lack of not knowing or not feeling supported, or just not even really having the necessary tools to actually understand, or just be in an environment where you can actually make mistakes on your own and then still feel supported. And it's not like I'm going into a perpetual cycle. That's really where my anger comes from, is just being into position or in predicaments, whereas though I feel as though I'm able to express, or I'm able to be in a safe space to grow. But in all actuality, you can only grow as much as you're putting into it. And if you're not in the right position and you don't have enough sunlight and stuff like that, then ultimately you're gonna stunt your growth. You can water this all day that you want, but it's not really nurturing. But yeah.
Good stuff. Very good. Um, you want the mic back over here?
I would say a lot of my anger comes from like the stress that I have and like changes in my life. Cause a lot of time, like as a child, I was very social and I loved to be social. But the thing with being social was you always had friends and people who didn't like you. And when I was younger, I didn't like that people didn't like me. And because crying was a source of weakness in my household, anger was the only emotion that I was allowed to feel. So I would take my rage of them not liking me out on them when it wasn't it everybody's not gonna like you. And now like that I'm older, that made me realize everybody's not gonna like me. So I feel better to be alone. And I've come to accept that. I do enjoy having friends now too, but I've come to accept that, being alone ain't bad, being with friends ain't bad, and anger isn't the only emotion that I can feel. I can feel stuff other than angerness.
Love it. Thank you. Did Janaya?
Um, Sometimes I think that my anger stems from like, well, I would characterize it as like survivor's guilt in the sense of like I've been given like a lot of opportunities and things could have been a lot different for me. And I noticed a lot of like young people out here who just weren't given the right opportunities. Like, people talk about like, oh, it's hard work. It's this. And I think it is all of those things, but I think it's also a lot of kids who just don't have a lot of access to resources and stuff. And all they need is that one opportunity, and it kind of like upsets me sometimes that I got that opportunity and I'm doing all of these things, and like it's other kids who like have the potential to do that, but it's kind of stunted because of the lack of opportunity. So
I just wanted to second on what you said. Like that's real, and it's so crazy that you said that because I was literally just thinking that. Like, if I didn't think like that connected with anger, for me, sometimes it just kind of it make me dim my own light because I feel like I, or if I'm shining too bright, then it's not gonna be space for other people. And I just appreciate you saying that.
I really appreciate everything that everyone has mentioned. I'm gonna tag on to what this young man said right here. Um, my anger, and Janai and I was just having this conversation, and it's so ironic that anger for me comes from the lack of support. The lack of support sometimes puts me in a place that I'm not doing my best to get that support, or what do I need to do, or what have I not done to receive it. And it puts me in a place where I beat myself up, and I just have to sit in it for a moment and reflect on the good that comes from those who do. Um, so anger for me is very reflective. When I'm angry, I have to take a step back. I have to reflect on a situation, and I have to find a way to prevent myself from getting into that space again, because it's very dangerous to be in a state of anger, because it can promote so many different emotions when you're sitting in an angry place. So to just allow yourself that time to try to find a resolution to it is very soothing. It's very soothing, and it puts you at a place of ease. So I try my best to avoid angry situations and try to be surrounded by as much peace and positivity as I possibly can be, because when I get to that place of anger, it's a whole nother side of me. Like it's like another person. It's like I'm sitting here now, but if you see me at that place, it's just like steer clear. So like I really appreciate everything that every one of y'all had to say about this topic.
Awesome. Thank you. I want to remind, and we'll open it back up for discussion. I want to remind you all that when we think about things that cause us to feel imposter syndrome, that then makes us angry because who am I to be at this table when so many others that look like me don't have that access? Um, just consider whose standard are you placing yourself against, right? Is it a standard of whiteness? Is it a standard that's steeped in white supremacy? Is it a standard that somebody set for you that you didn't make for yourself, right? And so when we are achieving these goals, because you all are going to, right? Just remembering to reach back to pull forward, right? So as many times as I wanted to be like, man, I don't want to do another youth summit, or man, I don't want to be a therapist anymore because nobody's listening, right? Somebody will walk up to me that same time and be like, Miss Nia, when you gonna be open for clients again, right? And so I have to continue to do this work, not because I because I feel like, well, there were so many other people that grew up in Baltimore that had the same opportunity. And while that is true, it is for the next generation. And it's also for those that are in my generation to continue to pull them forward, whether it's through a positive word, through a good deed, or through the work that I do. So consider the standard, right? And then push through it because you're worth it. Anybody else want to add something?
Um, I think it's like really ironic that you talked about like imposter syndrome because I feel like I've been dealing with that in my workforce for such a long time. And it's like hard because people will tell me like, "Oh, you're doing like amazing work, like you're making a change." But once I look at like the space that I'm in, and you talked about like white, like being in a white space, like that's being the standard, it makes me feel like the work that I'm doing is not impacting the people that I want to impact. And I kind of feel like I'm going through like sort of feeling like I'm a puppet because it's like, oh, like we want you to make a change, but you can only say what we want you to say, or you can only do what we want you to do. And then that makes me feel like I don't want to be a part of something like that because it's like if I want to make a change, I want to make a change because I want to make a change, not because somebody else wants to be the face of it, not because somebody else wants to be like, oh yeah, like I did this for you, you know what I mean? So I've been like having like this real like bad internal struggle with like that. So yeah, I think it's important that you brought up like the standard in which like we're doing.
And you can do both, right? So there are spaces where I will infiltrate the system, right, and bring people forward, which is why I have a whole second career in HR to make sure that people have access to quality jobs, that we're not placing barriers in the way when people are looking for a job, such as resumes, which is that's a whole nother story, right? So I infiltrate the system by being a part of the machine, and then I do things like this that is super black, really super uplifting, really all about the people and the people that I want to bring forward again. So still reaching back on both sides. So you can do both, right? And you want to process through the emotions when you feel when you have those moments when you feel like a puppet, because that's a true emotion, that's a true feeling that is heavy to carry. But thinking about how can I be a part of this machine and still make an impact, can be a question that you ask yourself to be able to continue to push it forward. So thank you so much for sharing. I want to get to our activity, and then I'm going to pass the mic because, again, I'm not the star of the show. So you all should have a notebook, or you can use your cell phone. Either one is fine. I know I don't even have a pen, and I'm up here, and I got spaces to fill in. I don't know how I'm going to do the activity, but we're going to figure it out. So we're going to write a poem kind of with some of the same words, but then you're going to fill in the blank that is appropriate for you. So you can open up your notes app, send yourself an email, use the notebooks that we've provided. I think Alexis has some pens. We have some markers. So this is a spin on a poem that people typically use to tell other people a little bit more about themselves, but we're going to really write this from the standpoint of processing where our anger comes from. So it was really cool to hear you all start to do this work organically. So the first sentence is, I am from blank. And so that blank will, all three of these blanks will be an item. So think about something that was in your home, something in your home growing up, or maybe even now, that something that's in your home now that reminds you of growing up. So I am from blank. That will be an item. From blank and blank. So we need three items. So for example, I am from BB Supergrow, from Kanekalon braiding hair, and Tootsie Rolls. It can be an item, it can be a food, it can be anything that describes kind of like your growing up, your home experience. Or I am from FUBU sweatshirts, from cassette tapes and CDs, right? It can be anything, but 3 items. I am from blank, and blank. Okay. Don't put a whole lot of thought in it. Kind of write down what comes to mind first. So I am from blank, and blank. Next sentence. I am from blank. In this fill in the blank, you're going to describe your home. It could be the address, it could be your neighborhood, it could be something that was really pretty in your house growing up. So, for example, I am from Bel Air Edison. That's my neighborhood that I grew up in. It could be I am from kente cloth. So it was African attire and kente cloth all through my house. So just describe your house. I am from couches, brown couches. I don't know. Whatever was in your house, describe it. So just to make sure everybody's keeping up with me, I am from blank, an item from blank and blank. So you should have 3 items in your first sentence. Your second sentence, I am from blank. We're describing home. We can go into our third sentence. Where anger was shown like blank. How was anger shown in your home? Take a few minutes to describe that. Where anger was shown like blank. And punishment was blank. So the first part is where anger was shown like blank, description, and punishment was blank. Keep in mind, I am a therapist, so I know this can bring up some stuff. If you need to talk to me afterwards, I'm around. So where anger was shown like blank and punishment was blank, it sounded like blank. How did it sound? So I'm going to read it from the top. I am from blank, an item from blank and blank. So 3 items. I am from blank. We're describing our home. So it could be your neighborhood. It could be things that were in your home, however you choose. Where anger was shown like blank, describing how anger was shown. And punishment was blank. It sounded like blank. Okay, we're almost there. I'm from blank. In this particular section, we're talking about a family tradition. So in my family, there was a tradition that we would have the same food at every gathering. To this day, you got the same menu every time. I don't know why. It's just a thing. It was a family tradition. Okay. And if you brought something different, everybody had an attitude. But that's neither here nor there. So I'm from blank, whatever your family tradition is. We play Uno at Thanksgiving. I don't know, sit around and watch movies. So I'm from, insert your family tradition, and blank, a family trait. So some families are loud. Some families are quiet. Some families like to hug. Some families all look alike. Whatever the trait is. So I'm from blank family tradition and blank family trait. Next one, I'm from blank. Insert there something you were told as a child. So maybe it's I'm from you got to work twice as hard to get half as much. Or something else you were told as a child. I'm from you have beautiful natural hair. Okay. When I'm angry, I blank. So when you feel angry, what do? Black out, start cussing, take a nap, play music, whatever. Fight. And so often what I found, and this is just so you all can catch up, is that I mentioned this earlier that we usually feel wronged in some way when we're angry. So the next sentence is when I am wrong, I feel like blank. Or when I am wronged, I feel like blank. An emotion should go there. And so, in many instances, when I've worked with clients, that the feeling of being wrong or being wronged by someone else almost made it feel like it changed your name, like it changed who you were. So, that sentence is when I am wronged, I feel like blank, but that is not my name. My name is, put your name. And then we're going to close it out with 3 I am statements. I am blank. I am blank. I am blank. They should be affirming statements. Okay. And so I'll go first. And then if anybody wants to share, you're welcome to. But I think this is a really cool exercise just to use at any point. So I already started mine a little bit. I am from Tootsie Rolls, from Wrap Snacks, and hair scarves. I am from Bel Air Edison on Kenyon Avenue, where anger was shown like silence and punishment was loud. It sounded like tears. I am from a family where we eat the same things at every event, and we're all loud and make fun of each other. I'm from your natural hair is beautiful. When I'm angry, I shut down. When I'm wrong or when I'm wronged, I feel like I'm less than. I feel like I'm not worthy. But that is not my name. My name is Nia. I am powerful. I am strong. I am beautiful. Okay. Anybody want to share their poem?
I am from late night fireworks, from half and halves with many meals and blue magic. I am from hand painted murals on first home walls, where anger was shown like sitcom specials and punishment was generational. It sounded like thunder. I'm from deviled eggs and virgin daiquiris and loud laughing women. I'm from immigrant great grandma. When I'm angry, I lie about it. When I am wronged, I feel like glass, but that is not my name. My name is Amber. I am fire, I am light, I am warmth.
Yes. Give it little snaps.
I am from club music, cartoons, and streetlights. I am from down the hill, East Baltimore, where anger was shown like abuse and punishment was extension cords. It sounded like terror. I'm from Pekino during the holidays with family and minced barbecue from down south. I'm from you must save money. When I'm angry, I cry. When I am wronged, I feel like the victim, but that is not my name. My name is Latrice. I am strong. I am supportive. I am loving.
I am from Fruities, from Ballies, and leftover spaghetti. I am from gray suede couches that you weren't allowed to sit on except for holidays, where anger was shown like yelling and being threatened, and punishment was being talked about to the entire family and put out of the home. It sounded like chaos and not being loved. I'm from Tang Pie on Christmas and a gossiping family. When I'm angry, I cry and black out. When I am wronged, I feel like I am betrayed, but that is not my name. My name is Brianna. I am worthy. I am loved. I am powerful.
Uh, I am from church pews, from report cards and Sunday dinners. I'm from Aunt Zetta's house, where anger was shown like gaslighting and punishment was silence. It sounded like disappointment. I'm from writing thank you cards. I'm from giving until there's nothing left to give. I'm from trouble don't last always. When I'm angry, I feel like self sabotaging. When I'm wrong, I feel small, but that is not my name. My name is Janaya. I am worthy. I am lovable. I am not my mother.
It's good. This is it's the heat. Y'all coming with it.
I am from hair jam and noodles and lunch. I am from give me.
You good?
I am from hair jam, from noodles and Lunchables. I'm from leather couches where anger was shown through yelling and punishment was shown through being put out. It sounds like I hate you. I'm from a family. I'm from a family where where we have sweet potato pie as tradition and loving grandmas. When I'm angry, I feel sad. When I'm wrong, I feel crap. But that's not my name. My name is London. I am beautiful. I am loved, and I'm strong.
Very good. Very good. Thank you all for sharing a piece of yourselves in this moment. And so certainly I don't have all day, right? Like we could talk about anger and process through this. You're certainly welcome to chat with me if this brought up anything for you. And of course, we are the Black Mental Health Alliance. So you can go to our website. You can connect with a therapist there, and Ms. Cheryl will be happy to help you to get connected to someone. I'm also here and happy to help you get connected, and to chat if you need to. But anger is a heavy emotion, right? We just process through all those things that were below the surface, and typically those things that are taught to us and handed to us through family tradition. So thank you all for engaging in the session. I hope that it was helpful. We're going to take another quick break. And then when we come back, they're going to bring some more heat with some amazing performers. And we'll be right back.
All right. So to close off our summit, yeah. There we go. So to close up our summit, we are going to be moving into our last Black Nerve segment, where you'll be hearing different artists and their different mediums of poetry, music, and art in general. And we are going to be discussing fear, anxiety, sadness. Yeah.
So, to bring up our first musical artist, I want everyone to give extra, extra love to the one and only Amber.
Thank you for the extra love. Hello, everybody. My name is Amber August, and I'm going to do a little ditty bop for you today. Hit it. So, this song and all the songs you will hear tonight were produced by my friend and extraordinarily talented musician named John Tyler, and this song is called Bananas. Feels like just a couple days ago I was in my house, now I'm on the road. Didn't think that I could get this far, but I had a dream, so I drove my car into the stars. But now I'm flying, galaxy is so divine, and honestly I just guess this thing is bananas. I'm sinking for the whole dang world. This little black Baltimore girl, I made it past all the tumbles and hurdles. This thing is bananas. I'm flying across the whole dang sky to play my funky music. I don't even know why. B-A-N-A-N-A, spell it. Hit it, B-A-N-A-N-A-U. No, spell it, B-A-N-A-N-A. That's banana. Banana. A-U. No, if you feel it in your soul, don't let it go, let it take control. That hope you have for your life, you only get once, so let's live it right. And if you want it so deep, it wakes you from your sleep, it's time to complete all that you dream. Y'all like that note? Y'all like that note? Then, yeah. So this next one's a little sad. It's a little sad. So this is my sad bag. It's called Superhuman. Don't be afraid to sadly bop along. Just like that. With Alexis. Just more sad, yes. Let me tell you about my life. Some things didn't go right, but I'm making it through long nights, and I'm holding on, I'm holding on. Let me tell you about right now. Got up and getting back down. Heavy is the head that wears this crown. Superhuman's what they call me. Superhuman's what they call me. They call me. But I never felt so lonely. Superhumans are what they call me. They call me. They call me right now. If only you knew how hard I could fall, they wouldn't ask me to stand so tall. If only they knew how hard I could fall, they wouldn't ask me to stand so tall. Yeah, superhuman. I be feeling that, you know? Like the weight of the world's on my shoulders, but I only got two. And the world is big. Get it?
City Bop, I need help, okay? You guys, you're gonna help me? I love the way you spelled bananas, but this time I need you to give me words because I'm gonna make a song for you. Ready? Give me words. Hope. I be feeling so dang hopeless, hope that I can catch my breath. Come on, give me words. We're building. Peace. I be feeling so dang hopeless, hope that I can catch my breath. But I ain't got no peace to keep on going. Hope that these emotions don't keep me locked in. What the heck? Sunshine, can you be my sunshine? When the weather gets so blind, I need you right by my side. Forever we rise, forever we rise, just like the sunshine. Can you free me from everything that I feel? I want to just disappear. Deep. I'm deep in love with all that I am. I hope that you are a fan. Remember to care about all the things that you wanted when you were small. I hope it comes true. I can't see, so I can't hear. Trap, trip, tripping over traps. I wonder if I'll ever get back. That's all I got. Thank you. Thank you.
Yo, give it up for Amber again. Because who you know writing a song? We're in the studio right now. I'm in the. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, our next artist.
Our next artist is about to do some spoken word for us. Lamar.
If you hear something you like, snap.
Okay, what's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Hey, how are ya? All right, so I'm gonna be saying two poems today, and I'm gonna tell y'all both the titles of them. So the first one is "When I Say I Miss You," right, and it kind of goes like this: When I say I miss you, I contemplate on whether that's a good thing or not. See, when I say I miss you, I be simping for no reason. Leaves change colors, but yours been red all season. Like, what's the meaning? Because hearing the sound of your name sound like music, and it makes my eardrums pop. When I see you, I definitely feel goofy like life is a movie. But truthfully, it has to be a series because we always end off on cliffhangers. And I'm always trying to be the hero that's saving you from danger. In reality, I'm Aaron Yeager, and you my Mikasa. I can't even save myself. So the truth is, I put my feelings on shelves. Hold on. Let me make that make sense. When I say I miss you, that's my hero complex coming out. Let me take a deep breath and try that again. It's like when I'm with you, I love you even more. See, I love to ignore the nonchalant, narcissistic tendencies and more you have to offer. I said I love you, and you respond by scoffing. Lately, I've been feeling lonely. It's like I got you, but we're not from each other's worlds. Mine is filled with love, reassurance, mirth. Yours is disassociated with pain and hurt. And I'm supposed to be okay if our multiverses merge? That's insane. That's a multiversal madness. But for you, my friend, I'll do it gladly. You make me want to tip my hat and do my little dancey. But now it's like a Sunday and I'm rambling. When I say I miss you, it's formal, like a letter or invitation. An early affirmation turned formality. I just be manifesting in the moment. Baby, I'm a Cancer, so let's have a conversation for atonement. Let's take a moment, sit down, let it all boil over. And it's kind of funny. I wrote this poem a while ago. I set it the day for closure. Now it's over. So, like I said, that was my first poem. I'm pretty sure y'all can kind of tell what it's about from the title. When I say I miss you, it's just a poem of reflection. It's a good way for you to actually, look into the side of yourself and see the parts that you did wrong when you was either in relationships or just self-analyzing yourself for right. But that actually brings me to my next poem too. So I want to talk to y'all about what's wrong because it's a lot of stuff that be wrong in life. It's a lot of stuff that be wrong with people personally. But you got to know how to acknowledge that for yourself. So, hey, what's wrong with you? Man, the honest truth is I'm feeling down and defeated. I try time and time again, I'm left decimated. Not understanding the lesson until later. I'm destined to be dreaded by my fatal repetition. Insanity is the instinct that attunes us with inevitable decisions. Decisions that force you to believe in your own pulp fictions. Man, I be tripping. Just like a rose in the crack, you question the beauty of the world that we live in. But hey, what's wrong with repetition? Nothing if you can live without accepting your past decisions. Nothing if you don't mind having bastard children. Or nothing for real. I'm just giving you a spill. So if it's too much, just keep it real and let me know. You see, I finally understand the difference between my wife and something temporary. We could plan dates and maybe get married. We could dream about our future. But if you play with my heart, I salute you. I was brought up by men with morals. So many of our dysfunctions are met with quarrels. They're met with love and questions for understanding. Because regardless of whom you are, I learned to treat you like family. But now I'm rambling. What was I saying? Oh yeah, it's nothing if you pimping. It's nothing if you don't mind running through these women and just plain old sinning like some 7-Eleven chicken. I can't relate because I be simping. Nothing. It's nothing if you don't have a like that's kindled by resentment. Do you understand the picture that I'm scribbling? I'm talking to you about generational traumas. Traumas that's put on our dads and mamas. The broken community is affecting us and it's malignant. It's putting us in a mindset of learning how to get it. I'm telling you the important stuff as if you were my therapist. Your confidence and your calmness help cure my copious clouds of confusion. I didn't did too many things that's fueled on retribution, and I made too many decisions that's focused on conclusions, and that's put me into unideal predicaments. Predicaments that force me to reflect on my past relationships, whether platonic or not. I'm thankful to have learned my lesson and in turn gained my blessing. But now that I got your attention, listen. Listen to what I'm spitting. We need change and it's time to make a difference. I'm here to tell you what's wrong. There should be no reason it's 2 a.m. and I'm hearing glass breaking and car alarms. I'm so depressed I can't even tell you what's wrong. I'm so desensitized to the things that's going on. See, I built up the mindset. The action for the bare minimum is what I get, and getting what I need is a project. All because you sense an inescapable inconvenience. You see, the truth is, we gave up. The truth is, we ain't never been taught how to love. We ain't never been taught how to live a life of longevity. I was brought up by hustlers, hard workers, and peddlers. You see, perseverance pushed me to be a popular loner, a stoner if you want to. See, but this stone was covered in mud, and my mud represents my tears, my sweat, and my blood, and also my fears. And all this is a product of working hard, and that's confused by life and love. But somehow, this stone was rinsed by the rain, and I'm known as the stone that can't be broken again. And just like Broad Wave, and just like how he say, I'm going back to the corner where I first saw you. I'm gonna lay down my sleeping bag. I'm not gonna move. I got some words on cardboard and a picture in my hand saying, if you see this girl, can you tell her where I am?
Give it up for Lamar one more time, y'all. It's about that time. But we have one more artist for you. This artist they do everything. They're a social worker, they're a rapper, they're a chef. I mean, they do a lot. But today they're going to be rapping and doing spoken word. Give it up for Young Elder.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Shout out to Autumn, right? No, I'm sorry. Amber. Shout out to Amber. Shout out to Lamar because y'all definitely heated the stage up. Like, got it really, yeah. Like, I could feel the energy. So, shout out to y'all. I appreciate y'all. It's an honor to perform on the same stage as y'all. So, since Lamar did a spoken word, I'm gonna do my spoken word first, and then I'm gonna do the performance. So, Lamar was asking what's wrong, right? So, how I'm doing? I'm not doing well. because I'm living in a system where I'm set up to fail. You see, statistically, we're supposed to be dead or in jail. But I took a different route. I told them I'm going to prevail because I remember walking to the job, but nobody would hire me. And now they in my DM. They like, Elder, you inspire me. See, I'm just trying to save my city because I can't stand to see this poverty. And I think we all equal. So there's no need for all this rivalry. Thank y'all. Yeah, you know what I mean? So like Amber said, I need a little help with y'all for this next song. This next song is really just about coming out when you have challenges, you have trials, you have tribulations, but learning to rise above, learning to know how to bounce back. You still standing. So let's go like this. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, DJ, drop that track. Turn me up just a tiny bit. All right. I'm still standing. They try to knock me down, but I'm still standing. Yeah, I got knocked around, but I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. Yeah, I'm still standing. They try to knock me down, but I'm still standing. Yeah, I got knocked around, but I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. See, I go through some things that nobody knows, but I gotta stay solid, gotta stay on my 10 toes. Nah, I ain't rocking ice, but at least my flow is cold, and I gotta keep on grinding, cause I told them I got goals. When you got two choices, you win or you die. See, we come from a system where you grind and survive. The devil whispering in our ears, steady telling us lies. I know we thought that it was over, but we back. He surprised. See, I will remain focused. I ain't never giving up. Cause what I got is talent. Swear to God that this ain't luck. And I'm aiming for the top, so I ain't never going back. And I'm stronger than that rose that grew up from out the crack. Cause I'm still standing. They try to knock me down, but I'm still standing. Yeah, I got knocked around, but I'm still standing. 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 They try to knock me down, but I'm still standing. Yeah, I got knocked around, but I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. See, you don't have a clue how much time I have invested. Put my rhymes up on this beat, then I watch you just ingest it. Gotta keep my mind right, cause I know I might be tested. If the skill was contagious, this whole room would be infected. Cause this is more than just rapping, this is a passion. You want results, gotta take actions. Rappers be faking to get a reaction. I'm staying focused, don't need no distractions. You wanna learn, watch how I do it. Listen to my words, this ain't no do it. I stay on my guard and don't make no excuse to get out of my face. Cause you being intrusive, my stuff so small, call it a dot. Say that it down, you finally not. All of the talking, you quiet on spot. You did me dirty, you thought I forgot. This is so easy, you walk in the park. I'm at a day, cause night is so dark. I'm a little dog, but I got a big bark. I'ma keep grinding till I make my mark. I'm still standing. They try to knock me down, but I'm still standing. Yeah, I got knocked around, but I'm still standing. 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 They try to knock me down, but I'm still standing. Yeah, I got knocked around, but I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. I'm still standing. Look, it don't matter how many times you get knocked down, you get pushed around, you gotta get back up and keep standing. Let's get it. Shout out to everybody that came out. I'm so happy that y'all came here to spend this time with us. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank y'all so much.
I mean, that's Baltimore. One word, Baltimore. Like, come on now. Listen, y'all don't gotta go home, but y'all gotta get up out of here. Now, I'm playing. Thank y'all so much for coming today. Man, it's been a long planning process. We did it. Shout out to Miss Nia. Shout out to Miss Andrea. Shout out to Janaya. Shout out Alexis, camera crew, audio, DJ in the back, everybody who showed up today. Thank y'all. And I'm gonna pass it over to Alexis.
Hi everybody, how y'all doing? How we doing? How we doing? How we doing? This has been such a great morning / afternoon. We all have touched on it before when it came to this summit, where we're talking about our emotions, and we've talked about joy. Or you've seen us talk about joy. You've seen us talk about anger. You've seen us talk about fear and anxiety, but we haven't shown you one more person who has played such a huge part in this summit, and that is Elder Sherelle Savage. She was in charge, or she facilitated our Zen room, our blue room, which was Black exhaustion. So I'm going to ask her to come up just to give her some space to talk about everything that she's done, but also put some bugs in y'all's ears, online and virtually, of how she's been supporting our community. So
thank you, everyone. It's such a pleasure and honor to be here. Thank you, Alexis. Thank you, Nia. Thank you for all of you coming and checking out the Zen Room, where I was able to curate a space where we were able to experience sound healing together. I'm a yogi, I'm an ordained minister, and I'm also a certified sound healer. I have the pleasure of being able to share sound healing every week, every Thursday at Equilibrium on 25th Street, right around the corner, not too far from here. And on December the 29th, I'm having a special end of year sound healing session where we're going to release 2023 and we're going to set intentions for 2024. It's going to be Friday, December 29th at 6 p.m. at Equilibrium on 25th. You can follow me on Instagram at IM_elder_Sherelle. And all the information is there. And I think there's some information that Alexis is going to share with you all as well. Thank you all for having me in the space today. I really appreciate the work of the Black Mental Health Alliance and the work that all of you do together. Thanks so much.
Wait. Thank you all so much. So I know you did the closing already, so you got to do it again. But thank you all so much for this year's Youth Summit being an absolute success. We really appreciate all of our performers and everyone that was out in the audience, whether you were virtual or in person with us. Certainly, we will be back with more. Andre has already talked about you all sticking around and us doing some pop-ups and going to different college campuses to do this very same work. So we're going to keep rocking if y'all keep rolling. Anything y'all want to say before we close out?
Your Black mind matters.
Okay, leave this space. Don't forget anything that we said. Remember to always remember joy in everything. Remember the people that you have and that are supporting you. Be grateful for them. And don't forget to feel all your emotions. They're there for a reason. So, yeah.
all the emotions, all that good stuff. But I just want to take a second to shout out this woman right here. Can we give her a huge round of applause? Although this is youth led, young people led, our visionary is Nia Jones right here. Although we are the ones behind it, it is who we are behind who always gets this stuff done. She sees a vision and we go for it, but this would not be done without her. So Nia, we thank you. We appreciate you. Your work is never overlooked. You are an impact alone. So that's all I had to say. I just want to sprinkle that.
Thanks a lot. We'll see y'all next year. Peace out.
Don't make me cry.